for these hip extension variations, we're just basically looking to get a variation that's right for you. Now this is gonna be dependent where you are in the rehabilitation process and where you are in terms of the masterclass. But if you are suffering from kind of a pretty gnarly injury, I want you to start at the beginning and work your way through. Either way, once you've found your variation, look to keep that at least for a couple of weeks. Look to add load where you can, and then start to progress your way through, each time getting stronger and stronger with the next variation. So the first variation I'm gonna show you is your glute bridge with both feet on the ground. So you're just gonna find something to put your shoulders on. I'm using a chair, you can use a couch at home, or if you're in the gym, you can use a bench. I'm gonna have the top half of my shoulders, right where the shoulders begin, top half of the back onto the seat. And now I'm going to have my knees pretty much in line with my ankles, okay? I'm gonna drop my hip down to the bottom and then squeeze my bum to bring my hip up. Okay, so again, dropping my hip down and squeezing my bum to come up. Now that'll be pretty easy for most people. If you want to, you can add a little bit of load at the front here if you're feeling unsure about the next step. But the next step is to go into a single leg position. So same movement, dropping the hip down and squeeze, driving up, making sure that you're squeezing at the bum to drive the hip up. You're not just throwing your lower back up towards the ceiling. You're coming down here, pause, squeeze with that hip, come up, squeeze at the top and come down. And then again here, you can look to add load by putting a dumbbell on your leg. Now, the next variation, it is a bit of a big jump. Okay, there's a lot more moving parts, but it's essentially the same movement. It's essentially a hip extension movement. So whilst I'm going to get you to do it with your foot on the wall, I'm just going to use this chair here for a second so you can see it on the side. I'm basically looking to have my back foot up on the wall, okay, in line with my knee. Now, same movement, I'm sending my hip back, hip back, hip back. See at the bottom, it's the same movement as those hip extensions on the chair. My back's nice and straight, I haven't curved over, and now I'm gonna squeeze this bum to bring myself up straight. So again, hip back, hip back, hip back, pause slightly, and then drive up. So as I'm on the wall here, I've come through, slight pause at the bottom, and then drive. Again, hip and that glute is that glute is making that hip come forward, up and top for the squeeze. So again, that's another variation that you're gonna be able to spend a bit of time on. It's quite difficult and you can always add load and get really good at it. And it's gonna give you a lot of value in terms of moving you forward with your hip extension variations. The next one, again, is a big jump. We're taking away the stability of the wall. And again, it's gonna be the same movement. So back foot comes up in the air and you see I've created that same movement here. Hip extension back, back's nice and straight, glute's gonna squeeze to come up into that start position. So coming down, 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 slight pause, drive up. I haven't turned it into too much of a lunge and bent that knee, but that knee is like a soft bend, so I'm not pushing back on it like so. Knee's pretty much in line with the ankle slightly in front, and then I'm gonna drive up. So figure out which version is right for you, and then unlike other masterclass series, look to keep this variation for a little bit, okay? At least 1 or 2 times through the program, especially once you get to that wall supported RDL and that single leg deadlift, you can add a lot of load and get a lot of benefit from it. So look to keep that for like a 3 to 4 week time block, or as long as you need to keep that masterclass series in order to get you away from pain and move you forward in terms of performance.